Well, good evening. I'm here today with a friend and colleague from a previous job of mine, another mental health nurse by the name of Fran Marr. And Fran has, well, I think it's probably better that I let Fran herself tell you about the project, details of which will be linked below. But Fran, what exactly are you getting up to?
Yeah, so when obviously when the war broke out with Ukraine, lots of people started doing lots of different things, collecting food or clothes, etc., etc. And I kept thinking of what it was that I wanted to do. Did I just want to do a donation to someone? Did I want to kind of contribute to a local? There's a few local people doing some things, and just whatever I was thinking of didn't feel like enough for me to do.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be really nice if, instead of, because lots of things are getting sent over to Ukraine and Poland, but I thought if I could do something where people coming into our country were getting something that was a bit more personal to them. I came up with the idea of doing these basic need packages where I would, yes, go. Where I would basically, individuals would get a package for themselves with toiletries in, or I've been doing them for all age groups really. So the kids ones get maybe a little toy in, and then some other toiletry items, and just making it a bit more personal to them. So I started off with this little project, and it's kind of escalated quite significantly.
Can I ask, before we get into that escalation, I mean, obviously there are tragic things in the news all the time.
Yeah.
What moved you to take action in this particular case? What struck you about this?
I think it was seeing how many things people were doing, and knowing actually that it was possible to be able to achieve something with this situation. I've kind of done other things in the past more locally. So when COVID first hit, I would save up some money from like being paid and spend it in local shops once they opened up again. So when all the shops were closed, I'd save some money up, and then when they opened again, tried to, to give them a bit of a boost again, whereas maybe I wouldn't have normally always shopped in the local shops all the time. I tried to make that more of a priority rather than just ordering online or just going to like the bigger supermarkets or something like that. So I think there's always a bit of me that wants to try and do something for any cause really. It's just working out when to kind of go for it. And I saw that all these people doing all these wonderful things, and I was like, do you know what? I actually could do something here. And that's what kind of led me to go with that one, with people coming over from Ukraine.
So it's not actually so much that this is a flash in the pan, Fran decided to do this because, it's more, this is who you are, that sort of community spirit and sense of helping people. I guess that's why you're a nurse.
Yeah, definitely.
So you started to tell me about escalation, and I'm very rudely interrupted.
Not at all.
Tell me about that. How does the scheme work? What is it? And how's it grown?
Well, obviously what I was wanting to try and do, initially my idea was for people coming more into the local area. So I just kind of put it out there to people on Facebook mainly, and said, this is what I want to try and do. And then I came across a little cafe in Silith that were looking for donations for a family of 3 that were coming into the local area. And I was like, oh, right, great. This is a starting point. So I messaged the cafe, and they were like, yeah, we'll have 3 boxes for the mum and 2 kids. And that really felt like, so that was like the first 3 boxes I gave out. And I was like, right, okay, then if I can kind of keep an eye for anything else like this coming up, Didn't really have a plan, which is normally kind of how it works for me. I just kind of give things a go and see what happens. But yeah, just once I'd done those first 3 boxes, I really felt like it was quite emotional dropping them off and just knowing they were going to a family who came over here with very little. And then I was kind of looking through groups that I'm on Facebook, not really knowing what to look for. And I came across a group which has got like thousands of people in it. And it's basically for people in Ukraine and over in the UK. And it's people offering to be hosts or sponsors who are taking people into their homes, basically.
Right.
And I just thought, right, well, I'll just pop this post on and say, this is what I'm doing. These are the like pictures of the basic need packages. And then I got about 50-ish requests, basically, for these packages. And then I was like, right, hang on a minute, this is gonna be too big for me to just get little donations off people dropping a couple of shampoos off or a couple of soaps. So I set up a GoFundMe to try and raise a bit more money and get more awareness.
Yeah, that incidentally, for people watching, that's what the link is below. That's the GoFundMe. And please do donate, because it, as you can hear, it's such a good cause. But
sorry, Fran, go on.
Thank you. Yeah, well, so obviously, I got those boxes out. I managed to get enough donations and things. And then I kind of had a little bit of spare donation money left to obviously to continue to make them. So I put another post on this same group. And then I was just absolutely inundated with more requests. So I've currently, I've promised 61 boxes. And just for an idea, each box, depending on what goes in it, you know, and it does explain this a bit more in the GoFundMe, but you're talking maybe £15 worth of items within the boxes. Clark's are being very good at giving me shoe boxes, which is an ideal size. And postage, if I can keep the weight under 2 kilograms, and it can go as a small parcel, second class, is £3.35. But it can be around £9 depending on the weight. So there's a big jump, and that eats into the donation money, the postage as well. So I really need both money to fill the boxes, but also the postage side of it as well. So I've got about 61 that I've kind of promised that I'm kind of getting on with. And then I've got 80-ish on a waiting list, which I would love to. I don't want to not be able to provide those boxes. So the more donations I get in, the more likely I am to be able to continue with those ones as well.
GoFundMe at the moment stands, I think, at 465. I had a look earlier. That will just about cover that first amount, but it's not going to touch the waiting list at all. So we really do need more people to shove a few quid in. And really, that's all you're talking, isn't it? Just a few quid from a lot of people would make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Definitely, if someone just wanted to sponsor a box to be posted, like £3.35, that would, that on its own just helps reduce those costs of everything. So,
absolutely.
So, Fran, who puts these packs together? I mean, presumably you don't do it all yourself, or do you?
Well, I started the first 50 that I got out, I did myself. But my friend's 2 daughters who are in the teenage years have been helping, and they've agreed to then help again, which is great because it does take a bit of time, as you can imagine, to try and organise each individual pack. So yeah, they came around last week and we got through quite a few, and then I just need some more boxes now to do the next kind of lot. So that's quite helpful to have them coming around to help.
And how do those packs get distributed?
So I just basically take them to the post office.
All right.
Get them all weighed and
So very sophisticated.
The first lot was just basically I got my youngest buggy, piled it high with packages, and walked down to the post office and got them all posted out.
Because that's one thing, of course, that people don't don't necessarily think about when they see interviews like this. Not only are you doing all this, but you're also working full time, and you have some quite small children as well. So, do you have any time? Do you have any time to just be you?
Yes. I think I've definitely better at that as I've got older. When I was getting all the messages through from the people on the group, I obviously didn't want to like ignore anyone or anything.
Yeah.
So I tried my best to get through as many messages as I could, but then I also then said, right, well, I'm not going to look at it anymore for a day or two, because otherwise you can easily just become like, oh, I better reply, I better say I can give this box. And so yeah, I know it's important that I don't, because it could easily overwhelm.
Well, that's what I was
because I want to do the best.
Yeah.
Individual people seem very keen to help. You can tell that they really want to open their homes to the people of Ukraine, and they're getting frustrated with the time it's maybe taken for visa applications to go through and sponsors, and all those kind of things.
So this group, is that a Facebook group that you're on?
Yeah, it's just whoever's set it up. I'm not like sure how it kind of started, and it just basically is. I think it seems national, this group, but from what I can gather, there are like more smaller groups in more local areas.
Right.
Because I think it started, from what I can gather, even though I wasn't there at the beginning, it started off, and then I think it's probably what's happened with my little donation thing. It's escalated very quickly, and people were starting to lose track of what was really going on. So there are some like separate kind of more local groups across the country, but that one still remains, and people are still commenting and writing in it and asking for hosts or sponsors and things.
So, Fran, this could go on and on. How long do you see yourself having to do this?
I'm quite happy to continue as long as people continue to donate. I don't. I mean, I think I'm being quite boundaried in not, trying to only do so many at a time and send them off as I can.
Yep.
So as long as people want to continue to donate, and I can still provide the boxes, I'm happy to continue to do that.
Cool. And
no, it's almost like I always need to have that, almost like an extra curricular activity going on outside of work and family and everything. Yeah.
A lot of people would say things like charity begins at home. What would you say to someone who said that?
Well, I don't disagree. But I think I am someone who helps locally as well as something like this. And, for me, on this journey, this is just something that I saw as something to welcome people coming over from Ukraine. And I also do things locally as well. Yeah. To support, like me and the kids have got, just for example, me and the kids have gone litter picking before to try and make it a bit more presentable where we live. Or when it was lockdown and we had VE Day, I handed out flags to the kids locally to colour in, and so there's little bits we can do in our, on a day-to-day basis, as well as these bigger things as well.
So from your perspective, it's not a this or that. It's not either or.
No, you can do both. And if it would, to me, if I just did this, just did the Ukraine thing and wasn't doing anything necessarily more locally, again, I think, well, you're wanting to do something for someone, and we're all, we're on this world together, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? It's not just our country and no one else's kind of thing. So
wonderful. Fran, thank you very much for talking to me and explaining that, and good luck with this and every other project you're undoubtedly going to do in the future as well.
I might have to have a break after this one, though.
Fran, thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart.